Trekkie girl, Trekkie girl. She loves outer space, has a black and white face. So girl, my Trekkie girl. I'm the Larry Nemecek, she's a real McCoy. She got a spark haircut with curls.
Hello.
So,
Morning.
morning.
Welcome Larry with the Trekkie Girls, and this is John
From Visionary Trek.
Yes, good to see you, John, after all the times of being Skyped and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Good to see you again.
Yeah. I've got we all.
Always good to see you girls.
Thank you. Good to see you too, Larry.
It's amazing here at SFB.
Oh,
You
finally
enjoying
made
it?
it.
Yes. Thanks, Anne. Thanks, Pete.
Thanks,
James.
Yes. Yeah, well, John's came prepared to this interview. We haven't.
Well, let's start there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take that cue.
Well, being back in England, the SF Ball is a very different and larger event than you normally do. What attracted you to the event? This event?
That they said, Larry, would you come? No, I mean, you said that I usually do, which is funny because I didn't, Comic-Cons and the signing shows and all that, it's not really, my people are, aside from Trek fans in a sea of all the pop culture genre of things that are there that make up, comic book superheroes and all that. But the small cons is where it's more intensely Star Trek. I don't mean weird stalker intense, but I mean where that's occasionally okay. But that's where that people are there for Star Trek. It's like Trek Vegas in the States and some of the other conventions and if they started as Trek in the 70s and 80s, back in the day, the 90s, and they've had financially had to adapt and broaden their umbrella, their core is still Star Trek and they've had a family, like SFB's family has been coming, new people come in, but it's a family feel. And the best conventions are that way, because it's not just about coming to see the guests and all that. And we used to wonder what would happen in the age of computer. Like, well, you used to go and get all your news and your rumors and gossip, and the coolest merchandise you couldn't see anywhere else. And so much of that the internet supplies now. And it's like, well, will conventions die out? And it's like, no, because there's still a reunion. Or now with social media, the twist is, you meet people online, but then you finally get to see them in person and go hang and party and be depressed when it's over.
You've been attending conventions for years and years and years.
One less years.
Yeah.
I think just years and years.
It'll just be years.
What do you think the future holds for Star Trek?
There was that one convention where it was so cool because who knew that Herbert Hoover was a Trek fan? And it's England. I shouldn't do that. Okay.
What do you think the future is for Star Trek conventions with Discovery coming out? Do you see them transforming? Have you seen any changes?
Well, the cool thing is the way Star Trek was always supposed to be the techie, the tip of the spear as far as the tech revolution, which is funny because some of the most backward people in the world are Star Trek fans sometimes, but. All the best of the tech revolution and the digital revolution harnesses that. And, everybody online, play with their memes and their mashups and the video that people do. And I'm waiting for us to cross the line where everybody has like a holophone and puts it down and, well, here's the latest holo meme I just did. How do you think? And I mashed up my 3D little. That's where we'll be eventually. But like I said today, we went. The fan films are the fanzines of the era now. Yeah. And things keep coming. So there's always a leading edge that's doing that, and that bleeds over into the conventions and the presentation and the productions. And Star Trek fans are always creative, and everybody's wanting to outdo each other and come up with the next coolest thing. So that's always driving.
Yeah.
So no, like I said, I used to worry about conventions drying up, but that's not going to happen now. Yeah.
Right.
People have too good a time realizing a convention is, and even at times when the big conventions. They're like, I don't really need that ticket with 5,000 things to it. I just want to go hang in the bar and see everybody. Walk by. Yeah.
That's where conventions like this come into play. You get that much more personal interaction with.
Yeah, you're lucky to be able to do that. The other thing that's amazing is, the old school was you became a fan, and then you looked around locally, and you found your local club, and then you went to your little local convention, and then maybe the next one up in the region, and like in the States. And I'll be at the Vegas track and say somebody will be kind of looking around wide-eyed and it's is this your first time in Vegas? And they're like, it's my first convention. Or I'm from Des Moines and this is my first convention. Or I'm from Memphis and this is my first convention. I'm like, really? And that's the way it is now. People are like, if I'm going to go to one, I'm just going to go to start big.
Yeah.
which is amazing too. You know,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
but that's what's in the mix. So you know, it's exciting time. Conventions are here to stay if they don't screw them up.
So, how was your film, the Con of Wrath, going?
I'm glad you asked me that. No, so when I started working on it, it was a learning process, but I'd seen Roger Nygaard, that I got to know him, that did the Trekkies movies and some other documentaries on his own, and saw how you could do an easygoing, you know, if you had people jump in and throw money at you, and sure, you do it on a 9-month schedule, like a real movie or whatever, but there are ways to do things a little bit at a time, like a shade tree weekend kind of project, and collect little bits at a time, and then have the you know the run up at the end, and crunch time at the end, and get it done. And so I knew that. In fact, you know, Roddenberry's his Trek Nation took 8 years to come together, and I told him about this, and he's like, "That's great, Larry. Just don't take 8 years." So we're at 6. But that was the plan. That was the plan, was to get along. And so now we're crunching, and the plan is to, this is the 35th anniversary of the Wrath of Khan, and the Con of Wrath, the real one. And so we're shooting for summer 2017.
That's,
Have a hard, long spring ahead of me.
one last question. When do you plan to, is there a possible viewing date for it? For your film, or was it just in there?
Just roughly in the summer. We're just gonna get there. And you know, if we get down to where we're 9/10 of the way along, we have. I mean, I'd love to have it at the summer conventions and the fall conventions. So, and some premieres. You know, it took place in Houston. I'm from Oklahoma. You know, San Diego Comic-Con there, and Vegas Trek, and other conventions have said, "Oh, you're always we'll have you at the festival." So I have all that to figure out. But you can stream. The great thing about documentaries is you can stream everywhere. There's all kinds of creative things that tech has brought us for that. So
I think that's all the
Well,
time
we've got time for today.
that's all. Anyway, it's fun. And join us next time on Larry Got Started Late. Thank you guys. And
Thank
thanks.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Thank you.